Welcome back to Country Kids Outdoors. You know what's wrong with the NK300? Stick around because I'm about to tell you. Welcome back to Country Kids Outdoors. If you would, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button up there. It don't cost you nothing, but it sure does help us out. If you like what we're doing on this channel, hit me up in some comments down there. If you got some other things you'd like to see, you know, put that in there. I'll be glad to see what we can do about getting that on here. But anyways, so you know you've been watching the videos about the NK300, and I've been an XI3 guy for a really long time. And this was kind of a big switch. Some great things I love about it. I love the fact of the power and how fast you can go, how much ground you can cover, how long the 36-volt battery lasts all day long. It's unbelievable. And there's one thing I found out that's a little bit cumbersome is, if you come from the XI3 world, is missing the spot lock. You know, right now I think everybody in the industry, if they could get this with spot lock, it'd be fantastic. It'd be wonderful. But I've got something here today to help that problem out, and we're going to go ahead and put this on today. So I'm going to actually put back on my power pole. So I got a micro power pole that I haven't ran in a while, but I think with some lakes that we got coming up, like Gunnersville, some of these grass lakes, it's going to be a little bit more shallow. I think it's going to be a help. So I've got us a little something here we're going to unbox here and put it on from One Objective. I know we ain't heard much about them in a while, but they're there in Virginia. And I've got a plate here to mount on the back of this Unlimited, and then we're going to mount up the power pole. So stay tuned. So I've not even unboxed this yet, so we're going to go ahead and just be careful here and take the old razor blade and cut this open and take a look at this plate. It's double packed here. I know one thing that One Objective is always good about, they're always good about the hardware. I cut the bag a little bit, but it looks like it's all attached. All right. So here's the plate. Oh, and I also did order a, oh wow, little piece of the, just seen something there. All right, something did fall out of the bag when I cut it. So you gotta be careful about them razor blades. Now I think that was out of the box to begin with, so I don't see nothing else in there. The way they double bagged it, I gotta double check. So, but I also did order, and I'll go ahead and show this off. I'll show this to y'all later in another video about that. So go ahead. Go ahead and get this baggie of parts off here. All right. So don't look like there's any kind of drilling or anything like that in this plate, which is awesome. It's one of the things that attracted me to it. And I did like this also, that it still has two handles to it, and it's also got a cutout for, you know, the motor, place for each side of the for a power pole. Sorry about that, got all tongue tied there. It's also got a place for a motor if you want to mount it up on top. All right, to start this build, we're gonna have to unhook the actual rudder cable here that goes to the foot steering, this to get everything out of the way to get the plate mounted. So let's do that. just initially looking at it, it looks like it's going to be a little tight there. So, you know, I'll be able to tell more when I get it on there. But the initial part of it does look like it's going to be a little tight. I'm not real happy with the fact that I had to undo that, and I'm going to have to end up, you know, putting that back and mounting that little bracket up here, which, you know, is no big deal. It's no big deal. I just didn't realize that when I bought this. So this plate. So but we'll make it work. So first step is this. Number one, you have to figure out which side you want the power pole on. So they only give you 4 of the inserts, 4 of the inserts to put in the back for the for you to be able to bolt your power pole to it. So it's just 4 of these, and what you do is you just hammer them in on the back side. So I'm thinking, since I've got this over here and stuff, really I'm dictated of having this on this side. So we're going to go ahead and get these in. So I'm going to take this over to a flat surface, take my hammer, and knock those in. I got them little spikes on them, and that's all you do is, y'all can see that, if I quit dropping it, is knock them in there, and it holds it to where you can tighten it up. So really, this is a very, very, very easy install. So you got 4 T-nuts, which I think the hardest thing's going to be is, you know, seeing these T-nuts down here to, you know, get the screws in them is probably the only, yeah, you can see them pretty good, but getting it lined up. So because you got to go through these bushings, so to raise it up to get it over top of everything. So I'm going to try to do maybe possibly one at a time here, just get them started. All right. Now, all right. So now really you just got to kind of put it towards the center. You can kind of see about where this is at. There you go. It tightens up good too. What I loved about this one more than anything else was having these handles back here. It says to use a ham when knottage reel, just in case. All right. So that's pretty much the basic installation for that now. So now we got to work on this here. So what we're probably going to have to do is find some longer screws, of course. I'm going to go ahead and put this bolt back in first, tighten that down, and then we'll set this and this, and we'll mark those holes. Some of you may not have a pair of calipers, but Harbor Freight has them really cheap. I have some because I used to be a machinist, and it's really nice for stuff like this because you can get the exact diameter you want on stuff like this. So that's a 187 diameter. So you know you need at least like a 201 for it to go in. And then I can also measure this plate to, so that plate is, looks like it's 3/4 of an inch. So this way I know now I can go in there in my building and take a nut to make sure it's the right thread, or I can just pick out something that I have, which that's probably what I'll do, with having the nuts and the bolts to fit this. So let me go find the drill and stuff, or the drill bit and stuff, and some drill and some bolts and nuts, and we'll be right back. All right, y'all, I found what I need. Put this on. Got the drill right here. So Alright, let's check out make sure the rudder still moves good. Yeah. Alright. Alright. There we have it. Alright, so the next step is to mount our power pole. These are usually 1/4-20s, so I'll have to figure out what size, how long 1/4-20s to get. So when we find some of them, we'll mount it. Well, for me it might be different for you, but about 1.5 inch length of socket head cap screws work perfect. And I also put a metal washer in mine down there. That way, you know, it don't hurt that plastic. So let's tighten these down. So for my power pole, I'm going to run the cord. I'm going to run it down through here. This is a 36 volt, so I can't run this off of it. So I'm going to run it down into my black pack. I've got a through hole right here. I'm going to put it in there, and I've got a 30 amp 12 volt battery I'm going to put on it. So inside my black pack. So thank you again for tuning in to Country Kids Outdoors. Once again, like I always say at the beginning of the video, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, share it with somebody. And you can't harvest them in the house. You got to get up, get outdoors, and have a great time and worship the Creator more than the created. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for some more great rigs, some great adventures, and some stuff to come. Thank you.